Happy holidays, everybody. Hoping everybody out there is having a safe and healthy holiday season. Wear a mask, wash your fingers, don't talk to strangers, don't take candy from babies. I don't know, something like that. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the What's on Sports Live podcast. For those of you watching us live on Facebook or on YouTube, we go live 5 days a week at 10:30 in the morning. And we also leave this for you guys, so it's a podcast, so you guys can download it from your favorite podcast platforms. My name is John Todora, and I'm one of America's most famous gamblers. But today, I'm the host of your podcast. We're going to be talking about lots of good stuff. Huge day in sports. Big holiday weekend coming up. We're going to talk about Dwayne Haskins and a stripper. We're going to talk about why Ju Ju Smith Schuster is the Jackwagon of the week, and you'll find out what that means. Then we'll have Lance Fernadez joining us with NFL Christmas wishes for each team. The Fantasy Guru, the Charm City Cash Cow, Mr. Michael Shussler will be joining us, talking about special holiday picks for Christmas Day. If you guys want to do a little fantasy sports action for the NBA, then we're going to dive into the mailbag, and then we're going to finish up the show with a fantasy true or false. And guys, if you watch the show today, if you watch the entire show, and if you hang out, and I'll remind you along the way, at the end of the show, we're going to give everybody an opportunity to win $10,000. Now that sounds like a lot of money, only because it is. It is about 20 times more than the government recently offered you. So stick around for your opportunity to win $10,000 in cold, hard cash. Now, before I go any further, I do want to let you know that our show today is sponsored by our good friends over at Sports Trading Systems. If you don't know what Sports Trading Systems is, it's an amazing invention that actually teaches you how to use gambling lines and back-tested historical data to learn how to trade sports just like other people trade stocks. There's an opportunity there for you to go over and learn today from our friends over at sportstradingsystems.com. There's lots of free information. There's some packages you can buy. You can dive in and look at all the cool info and stuff in the lab area they have. Go over and check out sportstradingsystems.com today so you can learn how to trade sports like other people trade stocks. Now, I want to dive into something right now, and I love to get into all aspects of sports. To me, being a quarterback is more than just throwing the football, you know? I mean, obviously you want someone that can throw the football, but you really want someone who's a leader. Good leaders lead by example. And there's always an example that can be made, whether it's on the practice field, whether it's in your private life, no matter what the situation is. Good leaders lead by example, and I think most people can agree with that. Now, I think that certain things should be judged and certain things shouldn't be judged. And what we're going to be talking about right now is Dwayne Haskins. Now, Dwayne Haskins is a sometimes starter for the Washington football team. And Dwayne has had his own problems because the coaching staff there has said that Dwayne Haskins doesn't take things very seriously, doesn't study very hard, doesn't work out like he should. There are some issues with Dwayne Haskins that have been mentioned along the way in his career. Now, I don't know if these things are verified or not. I have to believe what I hear because for some reason, Dwayne Haskins, who has first-round pedigree, who has a cannon for an arm, who played really well at Ohio State, is not seeing the football field. They've pretty much given up on him unless everyone else is hurt. Well, Dwayne Haskins recently made some news because Dwayne Haskins was seen in a picture in a strip club with a stripper not wearing a mask. Now, I understand that this year they've asked a lot of NFL players to not participate in social events. Don't go out with your friends. Don't go out to clubs. Don't go anywhere where you could possibly contract the virus and bring it back to the players that you're playing with. And I think this is it's a fair ask for somebody that's making that kind of money. It's a fair ask. In fact, it's a fair ask for all of us right now to kind of give up a lot of what we're doing socially because we don't want to infect the people around us. I think it's a fair ask. Dwayne Haskins took a tremendous amount of heat for this. And for me, even though I think it's a fair ask, I'd like to defend Dwayne Haskins here. I think that Dwayne's taking a little too much flack for this. I mean, there are ways to think about this. First of all, there's a very good chance that this woman is a single mom and could use the money. There's also a really good chance that since she works in the service industry, that the hours where she works have been changed. So she's probably not making the amount of money that she used to make. And look at this picture. She's got money in her hand now. Dwayne Haskins is helping the economy, yet being criticized for doing so because he's not wearing a mask. Now, guys, I think there's priorities here. I think we need to start putting them out front And to me, anytime you can help a single mother who happens to be incredibly hot, at least in this picture, anytime you can help a single mom by donating a few dollars and hanging out with her, if you have to do it without a mask, just put the mask on, man. You can go, you can hang out. To me, give her a few bucks, make it rain, make it drizzle, whatever you can afford, Dwayne. I'm okay with what I'm seeing here. I think the media is being a little too hard on Dwayne Haskins. I think that strippers' lives matter too. I think that this is an opportunity for Dwayne to show that he's a giving person, and I'd like to give Dwayne Haskins a round of applause. I was ready for that. I had the button ready. Dwayne, good job, buddy. Way to help out your community. Speaking of communities, I always mention to people that I'm a huge Pittsburgh Steelers fan. I do that just to kind of so people know where I stand. I love all sports. I love football in general. It's my favorite sport in the whole world. Steelers are my favorite. Ju Ju Smith Schuster has been making some waves, and not in a good way. Another guy not making waves in a good way. Now, for those of you that don't know what goes on, we actually have a website that's called whatsonsports.com. You can go over there anytime you want to, check out videos, check out some great articles. Well, today's featured article is about Mr. Ju Ju Smith Schuster. And on the website, they've called him the Jackwagon of the week. And every week they pick out someone who's done something really dumb and really stupid and something that they've done to really call attention to themselves. And Juju, my man Juju, has done exactly that. Now, what has he done? For those of you that haven't been following along, Juju Smith Schuster came into the NFL the Football League by being kind of an Instagram guy. He had a lot of followers, really good on social media. He transferred that following from Instagram to YouTube, where he's got a pretty popular YouTube channel. And now he's moved it over to TikTok. I'm sorry. I meant to say TikTok there, where he's doing dances. Apparently his following is even bigger on TikTok, and very, very, very viral things Juju does. So every Sunday, apparently Juju's got this ritual where he goes out into the middle of the field on the other team's logo and dances on the logo in some type of TikTok dance. And he did it the last few weeks. And each week that he's done it has gotten him more attention. And the attention hasn't been good because the other teams get so fired up and so amped up that they're dancing on that he's dancing on their logo, that they want to tear Juju's head off. They want to play even harder. They feel like they've been violated. And even though this has become mainstream sports news and most people are criticizing Juju for doing so, Juju's response is, well, I'm not going to stop being me. Well, Juju, I never knew that being you was being an asshole, because this is not what people do. This is not being you. Being you is just acting like you as a person. You've taken the term being you and turned it into I'm going to do whatever the hell I want to. I have a tremendous problem with people doing things at work to try to generate their business. For example, I have employees that work under me. If those people came to work every day and while they were working on their own business, I would be upset with that. Incredibly upset, because I'm paying them for their time and their effort to work on my business. So the Pittsburgh Steelers are doing the same thing right now, Juju. They're paying you a lot of money to go out and play football for them. And while you're doing it, you're using the same platform to cross-promote, to create yourself a business outside of sports. Because let me tell you something, Juju. If the way your performance has been over the last 2 years, you have not had a 100-yard game since Antonio Brown left the Steelers. That's a fact. In almost 2 full seasons, you've not had a 100-yard season. So your contract next year, if you decide to play football, won't be a huge one. You're not a number 1 receiver. You're barely a number 2 receiver. I mean, on the Steelers right now, you're probably the number 3 receiver. You'd be number 4 if Eric Ebron could catch. And you got to get your head out of your ass long enough to understand that you're a football player. And just like people tell LeBron he needs to shut up and dribble, you need to put your cleats on, put your helmet on, and go out and play football. Your job is not to irritate the other team. I give you a little bit of credit for having the balls to do it, but it's a team sport. You're not out there just angering people that want to kill you. You're putting the Bengals in a situation where they're like, you know what? We're going to play even harder against your team that isn't playing very well. The Bills come out and say, you know what? These guys are coming in here violating our turf, our area. Football is a territorial sport, and you know that. You've been playing it since you were a little kid. You understand it, Juju. So for this reason, the writers over at What's on Sports and I completely agree that you are the jackwagon of the week. And son, let me tell you something. It's time to get the head out of your butt and decide who you want to be. You want to be a TikTok star? You want to be a Twitch video game player? Or do you want to be a National football league football player. And the choice is yours. No one's saying you have to play football. No one's forcing you to do it. If you were to take this platform and move on and still be somebody outside of football, good for you. But what you're doing is unfair, completely unfair to the people that are paying your bills. And the next people that are going to want to pay your bills are going to keep this in mind. So when you go out looking for a job, which you will be doing at the end of this year, when you go out looking for a job, someone's going to look at that. And it's going to be on your resume in public, in front of everybody. Doesn't play well with others. That's what it comes down to, Juju. You're too worried about yourself. You should have learned a lesson from Antonio Brown, but you didn't. Now, that was our Jackwagon of the week. I'm glad you guys listened to me rant on about Juju. We've got a special guest coming in right now. He's one of our head writers over at What's on Sports, and he's coming on today to talk about Christmas wishes unfortunately, they're not my Christmas wishes, but they are the Christmas wishes of each NFL team. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Lance Fernadez. Lance, how are you, buddy? Awesome. Good to see you, man.
I'm doing great, John. How about you?
There he is. Good, buddy. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I just combed my hair, I guess.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, sometimes when I comb my hair, it throws off the way I can hear things too. So, Lance, you're going to come on today. You're talking about 5 Christmas wishes for each NFL team. I really want to hear what you have to say. Hopefully, some of these wishes come true for some of these teams. Who do you got? What are we doing, 5 or 6 today? What are we doing?
Okay, so let's do 6 because it's Christmas. So I have a bonus gift for you, John. So first things first, your favorite team, Pittsburgh Steelers. I was able to ask Santa Claus what their Christmas wish is, and apparently it is a multiple entry visa to a place called the End Zone.
Oh,
because it's it's a place that they haven't been to
that
much for the past 3 weeks.
Wow, dude, come on. There are other people in the office right now laughing at me, buddy. That's terrible. I mean, it's true, but it's terrible. Oh my God. I can see people over there. It's not funny. It's not funny. People are laughing right now. That is not funny, but it is very true. The Steelers have had a tremendous amount of trouble, not only getting to the end zone, but even getting to the red zone. It's very difficult for the Steelers to get to the red zone, which is not going to bode well for a team going to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Okay. Who's your next team?
The point difference, by the way, for the Steelers is just so appalling. So 28 points when they win, 16 points when they lose. So anyway, number 2, Arizona Cardinals. This is a sentimental wish, is to get Larry Fitzgerald a Super Bowl ring.
Oh, nice. Nice. Larry Fitz almost won that Super Bowl for them single-handedly when they played against the Steelers a few years ago in Arizona. If it wasn't for the last-minute heroics of Ben Roethlisberger and Santonio Holmes, Larry Fitzgerald would have been the hero of that Super Bowl because I think he broke off like a 76-yard run after a catch. It was just amazing. He was phenomenal that entire postseason. I'm a Larry Fitzgerald fan, not just because he's such a great player, but because if you ever seen an interview with him, that dude's a good guy. So I would actually love to see Arizona win a Super Bowl this year. What's your next Christmas gift?
Yeah, the odds are not stacked against their favor, but let's see. Okay, number 3. We go to the NFC West, leading Seattle Seahawks, and apparently they wished for an all-pro defensive back starter back because their defense in the passing game is just so appalling. They are last in the league when it comes to the passing game, and they need like a starter back of defensive backs that can defend the pass.
Yeah, they were a lot worse before Jamal Adams came back, and you could see the difference by putting one all-pro caliber guy in that backfield. If they had another guy, if they still had a Richard Sherman or somebody like that, a shutdown corner, that defense would obviously be a lot better. Seattle's going to have to win some shootouts moving forward. That's all I can tell you. When they make to the playoffs, no matter what happens, no matter who they play, I don't see any low-scoring games happening there. Seattle's a team to watch, though, in my opinion, because they're heating up at just the right time. What's your next Christmas gift?
Okay, the next Christmas wish is from the Indianapolis Colts, and they would like to see a crystal ball wherein it will reveal the successor for Phillip Rivers.
Oh, yeah, well, look at that. Indianapolis is not alone. There are a lot of teams out there, including the Steelers, Tampa Bay, New Orleans, that are really wondering who their next starter is going to be. And some of these teams have an idea. Some of these teams have some idea, but it's going to be some retread. It's going to be something like that that's in their mind right now. The question is, who's going to be the one to replace these teams that are actually good teams, that are never bad enough that they actually are low enough in the draft to actually get anybody who's a good quarterback. So it's going to be really tough. I don't know what Indianapolis is going to do. If they get rid of Rivers this year, that contract was set up so that they have an out after year one. It's a 2-year contract. The team decides whether or not they want to go into year 2. Rivers, of course, could retire as well. But if they decide to get rid of him, they're not going to be very high on the draft list. They'll probably be in the 25, 26, 24 area as far as where they draft. It's going to be really tough for them to find a quarterback there. All right, you got one more for us? One more Christmas wish for a football team? Slowly, he answers. He's really thinking about it. This is methodical. By the way, guys, this article that Lance is talking about, he's only giving us bits and pieces of it. The entire article will be on whatsonsports.com today, over there where you guys can go and read it. Whatsonsports.com. You guys can go over and check it out whenever you want to. Lance, you got that last Christmas wish for me?
Okay, so our next Christmas wish is from the Minnesota Vikings. So, in the event, and apparently they want Mike Zimmer to regain the Infinity Stone of what we call the Defensor Act, or the defensive genius, because he has lost it.
He has definitely lost it. Minnesota has been very, very, very good, I think, offensively run, because they've got that amazing running game. They got a pretty good quarterback, 2 good wide receivers, decent tight end, and the offensive line that can block. But on the defensive side, Zimmer, who's known as a defensive genius, has really not held up to that. In my opinion, you're absolutely right. If Zimmer could bring back some of that magic that he's known for, that would be a huge, huge boon for the Minnesota Vikings. His name is Lance Fernadez. Lance, I want to thank you for coming on the show today. That was a great piece, man. I can't wait to read that over on whatsonsports.com. Now, guys, I want to let you know, for everybody watching right now, those of you watching right now, it's cool. I want you guys to make sure we're always on this show Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at 10:30 in the morning. We go live. You're also downloading us on your favorite podcast channels. And I want to let you know that today we have something special going on. In the very last segment of the show, if you stick around, we're going to give you an opportunity to win $10,000. And that's not fake money. That's not play money. That's real money. $10,000 in cash coming your way. If you listen until the end of the show, I want everyone to pay attention, because there's an opportunity coming to you. Now, before we go any further, I do want to let everybody also know that we do have a sponsor. It's sportstradingsystems.com. You can go check out Sports Trading Systems to learn how to trade stocks just like other people trade sports like other people trade stocks. Coming on the show right now, zooming into the show right now, flying in that amazing, let me see that sweater, man. What are you wearing there? Is that a cat?
It is. Yeah.
That's a cat with a Christmas hat. All right.
Yeah. Is that adorable?
They call him the Charm City Cash Cow.
Yeah.
He's also known as Mr. Winter Solstice.
Well,
Michael Shussler's in the house.
Michael,
what's up, buddy?
Oh, not too much, John. It's a beautiful Wednesday here. Christmas season is upon us, the holiday season. As you can see on the screen, we got some Christmas NBA games coming up. First, the opening day was last night. Two excellent matchups there. You got any Christmas plans?
I feel like I'm interviewing the Grinch right now.
Really?
It's like the Grinch who stole Christmas with that shirt. It's like, bang.
This shirt is adorable. And it's so soft and
Okay.
smooth. I'm just saying.
Oh my God.
Nice and warm.
This is a sports show, bro.
Yeah.
You're literally okay. Listen, this is a sports show. We don't use words like adorable on the sports show. Okay.
Depends on who the host is, I guess.
All right, I guess so. All right. Anyway, speaking of which, Michael's also the host of the Fantasy Fallout podcast that happens right here on this same network. Michael, what do you got for us today? Christmas Day's coming up. Christmas Days, and we want to make some money. Oh, someone likes your sweater.
You're damn right they like it. Like I said, this is a great sweater. But
This guy's name is Jack Sparrow. He's probably a plant.
Do you know who Jack Sparrow is, John?
He's the guy from the boat movie.
Fair enough. We'll give it to you. Yeah.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
So, there you go. Now,
is this your burner account? Is Jack Sparrow your burner account? You're like, oh, Michael's got great hair.
Speaking of Kevin Durant, though, and the Christmas Day NBA plays. So there are 5 games on Christmas Day for the NBA. And they're all going to be primetime slots. You'll be able to watch them on either TNT, TBS, Fox, ABC. All of these games will be on regular television. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you one player from each of these 5 games that I think is an absolute lock in daily fantasy, or will just outperform the rest of the players in that game. So for the first game, it's the New Orleans Pelicans at the Miami Heat. Miami Heat obviously lost to the Los Angeles Lakers in last year's NBA Finals in the bubble in Orlando. But the player that I love in this game, none other than Zion Williamson. Okay, Mr. Point per minute is going to be his nickname, because that's what he does. And not only does he score a point per minute, he has no minutes restriction this year. And he's just fully let loose. All right. That's what Stan Van Gundy said. They're going to let him do whatever he wants and get the ball in his hands more. He had 26 points and 11 rebounds in his first preseason game, and then 31 and 9 in his second. All right. Now they've only played 2. And I think he just goes absolutely off. Zion is one of the most exciting players in the NBA. He's extremely explosive. We talk about him all the time. I love him in NBA fantasy for season long. He's a first-round pick, I think. And in daily, he's an absolute lock for this game. I don't think there's anyone on the Heat that can guard Zion.
Yeah, listen, he's a beast. I'm not sure there's anybody in the entire NBA that can guard this guy. I mean, he's an absolute positive beast. So it would be exciting to see what he's going to be able to do this year.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're all excited to check out Zion. So that's the first game. The second game on this slate is a huge matchup. It's the Golden State Warriors against the Milwaukee Bucks. It's Steph Curry versus Giannis. These are 2 of the marquee players in the NBA. My favorite player in the league, my favorite player in this game has got to be Steph Curry. Okay, he's got to carry this Warriors team like he did last night. I mean, they lost to the Nets, but Curry was really, the spark of that team. He is that entire team, with Draymond Green out, who was out last night, Klay Thompson, who's out for the rest of the season.
Yeah, and that hurts.
Of course it does. But Curry for fantasy is going to be crucial, just because he has to do everything. He had 20 points and 10 assists last night in the loss, and he's going to have to do everything every game. So I think he drops 30 points on this Bucks team that gave up top 3 in the league on giving up 3-pointers last year on their perimeter defense. I think Steph Curry goes off. I'm not going to say that the Warriors win this game. I think the Bucks, will handily win the East for the 3rd time in a row. But I do love Steph Curry for fantasy. 30-plus points on Christmas Day.
Well, look, if you look at that team this year, I mean, this is literally Steph Curry's team. I mean, he is the undoubted, not that he's not one of the best scorers in the NBA anyway, but he's the guy this year. There's nothing to slow him down from being the guy. So I find it hard to look at that team and not think to myself, he might score 30 every game. He might have a James Harden type of year where he just guns the hell out of the ball.
He's going to have to, just to keep his team relevant. And he has no problem doing that. He has no problem throwing up 10 to 15 3-pointers a game. And that's what you need as a fantasy owner, a team that's going to be probably losing more often than not and needing to come back with big shots. We all know Steph Curry is one of the biggest shot makers in the NBA. Probably the best shooter that we've ever seen in the history of basketball. So, the next game,
and real quick, he'll have the ball in his hand all the time too.
Of course. James Wiseman, though, he looked exciting. I mean, he looked very promising for a guy who hasn't played in over a year. I mean, he only played in 3 games in his college career, so he looked great for the Warriors. I think he's going to be a great fantasy player as well. The third game on the Christmas slate is the Brooklyn Nets at the Boston Celtics.
Yeah, that's a good game.
It's going to be a great game. Yeah, my favorite player in this game, it's Kevin Durant. Okay. He was the best player on the planet the last time that he was healthy. in the 2019 NBA Finals. Of course, he tore his Achilles and the
whole
rest
year off.
What's that?
Whole year off.
It was more than a year off. But Kevin Durant, did you watch that game last night? The dude hasn't missed a beat. He was responsible. He scored or assist on 10 of the Nets' first 13 points last night. And like I said, he was the best on the planet the last time he was healthy. He very well may be the best on the planet again now that he's back. He's not even at 100%. He said he's in the 90 to 95 percentile for his health. But God, this guy is just absolutely unstoppable. I mean, he's 7 feet tall and he can just pull up from the top of the key and hit 45% from the three-pointer. He can also drive on anyone. His Achilles clearly not bothering him that much. He had 18 months of rehab, which is twice as much as most players get when they come off an injury like that. I love Kevin Durant, not only as a player, but for fantasy, and I love him against the Celtics. There's no one on the Celtics that can guard him.
I look at that team and I think to myself that I'm not sure that there's ever been two more emotionally damaged superstars to play together before.
Kyrie and KD.
They're both just so incredibly weird. I don't know if you saw the interview last night as KD's leaving the court and Charles Barkley was interviewing him, and Charles Barkley goes into this long-winded question of like, how are you feeling? And you think you're feeling all right and blah, blah. And he goes in the whole thing. And KD, who's not even looking at the camera, has like a hoodie over his head. He's looking down at the ground while he's answering all the questions, answers the question and goes, yeah. and the NBA studio's like, okay. And then they start making jokes about, it's loud there. Even though there's no crowd.
There's no fans. There's no fans there.
Yeah, he's just such a weirdo. And I think Kyrie's like weird on like another level, but KD comes in right underneath him. And my point is, when you have an insecure weirdo like that, who has a lot of people doubting him, it's either going to make him completely snap and lose his mind, or it's going to drive him to be an even better player. And I think if you think he was great before, if he can get to that 95 to 100% range, he may be even better this year.
I completely agree. And you brought up how insecure he is. I mean, that's just a fact. He was exposed with his Twitter burner accounts where he was arguing, that KD is relevant and he didn't have to go to Golden State to win a championship. He chose to, and all this nonsense. He clearly is insecure. But I think, like you just mentioned, that insecurity we've seen that only drive him further to be better. And he's only gotten better every year that he's played in the league. I don't see that stopping. Love KD.
All right, who else you got for Christmas Day?
Okay, there's 2 more games on Christmas Day. The next one is the Mavericks at the Los Angeles Lakers. And I already said Steph Curry is my favorite player. I can't just say that to everyone, but I mean, Luka Doncic, God, I love this kid. I mean, he's just as exciting, if not more so, than Zion, than KD, than Steph Curry, because watching Luka play is like watching a player in slow motion, where you almost know what he's going to do. He's going to do that little step back between the legs, pop back for a three. You know what's coming. The defense knows it's coming. It's not even happening that fast, but there's nothing that anyone can do to stop it. And it's beautiful, that high arc on the ball. He also has, some of the best IQ in the game, maybe beside LeBron James, who recently was gushing about how much he loves Luka. And he loves Luka because Luka plays with the joy that LeBron plays with. LeBron essentially sees himself in Luka. And LeBron said on this interview, I think it came out maybe a couple of days ago. I forget what show it was on. I think it was it's called It's Showtime with Mimi or something like that. Anyway, he sat down in the interview and he said that he was trying to sign Luka to be his first superstar under the Team LeBron Nike, sort of umbrella. So,
wow.
Yeah, unfortunately, Luka signed with Jordan, but LeBron was trying very hard, apparently, to get Luka under his wing and kind of, get that branding surrounding him. So if LeBron James, who has the greatest basketball IQ that we've probably seen in the last 20, 30 years, if he's all in on Luka, I mean, we got to be too, right?
Yeah, in my mind, I had this video. I have this like picture of LeBron, and he's standing there, and he's on TV, and he's saying, LeBron like Luka because Luka good player. I don't know why he's talking like that. It's just in my head. He's doing it. It's got like a Russian accent. He's talking about Luka. I don't know what the hell the deal is. He's just so fake that he would probably do that. You know,
LeBron's
sorry.
quite intelligent, so I don't know
hate
about that.
LeBron.
I know
I
you
hate
do.
LeBron.
I
He's
know
just
you do.
incredibly fake.
But you
He's
love him.
incredibly fake, but you're right about Luka. Luka's going to be a superstar in this league. There's no doubt about it. Barring any injury, that kid could very well be the new face of the NBA. So and it's going to be controversial. It's going to be one of those things, and people are not going to be happy about it when it happens. Just so you know, people are not going to welcome that with open arms.
Why? Because he's European?
Because he's European. He's not an American. He's not an American. It's going to be a problem because the NBA is considered an American sport. And when you start having this crossover, people are like, oh, yeah, crossover's great, until they realize that you become better than them, and then it becomes a problem. So you got and he's a good-looking kid. There's a lot of things to hate about Luka. He's really nice. He's a good-looking kid. There's no flaw in his game. He's going to be that guy. What is this? John tried to impersonate LeBron, but did Sylvester Stallone instead. That was not Sylvester Stallone. That was like if LeBron and Arnold had a baby or something.
You bring up the international appeal of the NBA, and that's a good point. But let's remember, Giannis just won back-to-back MVPs, and he's from Greece. So I think
a lot of people forget that Giannis is from Greece, and I mean, if you want to just leave the, if you want to just talk about why, it's because he's not white. So people think of Greeks as white people. So
sure.
And it's, I mean, or at the very least, olive skinned. So when you first hear that Luka's even Greek, you're like, really? He's black. So it throws a lot of people off. People that don't travel a lot are especially, like, most Americans don't ever leave their home state. So the statistics show that most Americans never go anywhere. So people aren't very traveled. So especially now there's COVID, no one's going anywhere. So you don't get to see anything.
Do you know where Luka's from, by the way, John?
I know it's Greece, but I
no,
don't know
that's Giannis. Giannis is from Greece.
Oh, Luka.
Yeah.
Isn't Luka German?
No, he's Slovenian.
Oh, he's Slovenian.
Yes.
Slovenian.
But anyway, European,
the Slovs are good ball players.
One of them is, at least. All right, anyway. Maybe we'll have to cut that out. I don't know. We'll have to see our European listeners. We might get some emails about that, but you said it, not me. I don't know what you can say anymore. It's 2020.
Sounds terrible, though, doesn't it? It sounds like super offensive when you're like, hey, it's a Slove over there. It's like, oh, that sounds terrible.
Slovak.
No, wait, it wasn't I forgot. He just blanked out. He played for the Bulls. Wasn't he from the Slovenia?
Oh, the guy who came in that they embarrassed in the
yeah. He's like a famous guy. What the hell's his name?
Yeah. Tony Kukoc.
Tony Kukoc. Wasn't he Slovenian?
I'm not sure.
Considering we couldn't think of his name a second ago, I doubt we're going to figure out what. I'm sorry. Here you go. Lance just helped us out.
Yep.
Kukoc is from Croatia.
I did say that. I did say that before the.
Did you? I think it's like the same.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
I think Croatia and Slovenia are like the same. They were all split up somehow, and then they came together. And
I'm very sorry to our European listeners out there. John doesn't mean that. Okay, we all know you're completely different.
And this is Lauri Markkanen. What the hell does this mean? Lauri Markkanen.
He's plays for the Heat.
Oh, Lauri Markkanen.
Yeah, I don't know where he's from, but maybe he's saying he's also Slovenian, or maybe he was trying to guess who you were talking about. But it was Tony Kukoc, of course.
All right. So at the end of the day, the Slovs are good players, and that's pretty much what we've established.
Right. Sure.
Sorry. Okay. So let's hear. I think you said you have one last pick for us, right?
I have one more. This is the last.
Michael just wants to get off the screen with me. He's like you're offending like in the entire European nation. I just want to be off the screen. Get me off the screen.
Millions of listeners in Europe right now that are shutting this off. But listen,
by the way, the comments made by me are in no way representative on how Michael Shussler feels. And I will leave his address in the comments below.
Okay. Thank you. Now, there's one more game on Christmas night. Okay. It is the Los Angeles Clippers at the Denver Nuggets. This will probably be a 10 o'clock start time. So, everyone's probably tired from partying all day. It's Christmas, or who knows. But I think Nikola Jokic was another European player. He is going to be the top fantasy scorer in this game. I think he's going to have at least 10 assists. He's one of the best passers that we've seen. Him and LeBron are up there, especially for a center, being as big as Jokic is. His ability to find the open player and just his court vision is so impressive. It's one of the first things you notice with a guy who's that size and, that kind of slow, that he's able to make these kind of, incredible plays. But he averaged 20, 10, and 7 last year. That's 20 points, 10 rebounds, and 7 assists. I think those assist numbers only go up because of how, Jamal Murray is also stepping into his own as one of the premier scorers in the NBA. So that's only going to help out Jokic's assist numbers. He is a first round pick in fantasy basketball because of the center position being as thin as it is.
Yeah.
He's probably the top fantasy point scoring center that we'll see this year. And I'm really interested to see who the Clippers are going to cover him with. It could be Serge Ibaka, who, over the last 5 years was one of the best defenders in the NBA. It could be the rookie Daniel Otoru. It could even be Zubac, who they got from the Lakers 2 years ago. But none of those guys really scare me as a defender on the 7 foot, 280 pound Jokic with that incredible vision. So Jokic is my top scorer for that contest.
All right, awesome. So let's just real quick before you leave, can you name off the players that you're recommending? Absolutely. By the way, guys, if you just joined us, this is Michael Shussler. They call him the Charm City Cash Cow. He has made me personally thousands of dollars this year playing fantasy football. He is a fantasy guru, and he's telling us his picks for Christmas Day. If you missed it, you can catch it on the wrap-up. But Michael's just going to tell us the list of players right now. These players must be on your daily fantasy for Christmas Day. Fire away.
That is exactly right. Unfortunately, DraftKings nor FanDuel actually have their prices out right now for Christmas Day, but you should be able to at least get 4 out of these 5, depending on the salary that you go with. Here's my 5. Zion Williamson, lock. Steph Curry, he's a lock. Kevin Durant, best player on the planet. Luka, this year's MVP. And then Nikola Jokic, best center in the league. That is my core 5 for Christmas.
He's the Charm City Cash Cow. His name is Michael Shussler. He appears on his own show every Tuesday and Thursday, which is called the Fantasy Fallout.
Mm-hmm.
And he also writes articles for us over on whatsonsports.com. If you want to learn more about fantasy football, more about fantasy basketball, if you want to increase your opportunity to make more money, you've got to follow the Charm City Cash Cow. Michael, thank you for being on the show today.
Of course. Thanks for having me, John.
Wow. This holiday edition of the show is going great. I mean, it's going stupendous. I want you all to stick around because you will have an opportunity to win $10,000 at the end of the show. So please stick around for your chance to do so. No one else in sports is doing that. We're giving you the chance. Make sure you stick around because we will give you that opportunity just around the corner. Right now, I'm going to reach into our mailbag real quick. Over on our website, which is whatsonsports.com, we give people an opportunity to go over there and write an email in and ask us questions. We try our best to answer these questions to the best of our ability. Now, before the show starts, I do not look at the questions. They're just given to me randomly. Sometimes they're questions I don't know the answer for. So if you're in the chat room and you'd like to join in on this conversation, feel free to do so. If your comment has any relevance, we'll put it up on the screen so that everyone can see it. All right. Let's go to our first question inside the mailbag. Push that button. Hey, guys, just wanting your opinion of, Big Ben now. You had talked about him like he should be mentioned as an MVP candidate earlier this season. What do you say now? All right. Well, earlier in the season, we did mention that Big Ben should be at least mentioned in the MVP candidate scenario. Now, in the early part of the season, 7, 8, 10 guys are being mentioned as MVP. Now, obviously, at this point, I do not think Big Ben is an MVP candidate. I think it's really come down to Rodgers. I think it's come down to Mahomes, and I think Derrick Henry has an opportunity as well. I think those are the 3 people that you have to have this conversation about, and I don't think anybody else matters. This is my opinion. Big Ben has not played well recently, and I think that's well documented. And anyone that says that he has is just being a homer and not being a real fan, at least not a real fan of football, not an honest one. Big Ben has played terrible. He's been awful. He's not an MVP candidate, and at this point, if he continues to play the way he played Monday night against the Bengals, he's not even considered a top 25 quarterback in the NFL. He's been horrible, terrible. So no, I do not consider him to be an NFL MVP candidate right now. Thank you very much for throwing that in our faces. Let's go to our next question. A lot of primetime games seem to really be screwing gamblers over this in the last moments this year. Is the fix in? So this is a common scenario it's a common narrative that you hear from people all throughout the sports world, especially gamblers that are a little bit, and this is a technical term, but gamblers that are a little bit butthurt by what's going on. A lot of people saying, oh, the fix is in. I can't believe this. Can you believe this happened? This happened 2 weeks ago in the Monday night game. It was a 2-point swing. I'm sorry, a 3-point swing either way. Cleveland takes a safety. A couple weeks ago, I think it was Dallas and Philadelphia, if my memory serves me right. And there was some controversy in that one. Philadelphia went for 2 and they didn't need to. So, I think these things happen. And I'll guarantee you one thing. An NFL coach and an NFL player are not coaching and playing to try to win or lose you money. They are coaching and playing to try to maintain their own jobs. That's their goal when they go to work every day. Every day they go to work, they don't want to get hurt. They don't want to hurt anybody else, and they want to make sure they keep their job. And then they want to win. But all those things come before winning and then winning. So at no time is anybody out there thinking, oh man, if we can just take a safety, I bet these gamblers would win some money or lose some money. No one's out to get you. I'm a gambler myself. I gamble on a lot of different things. I invest in sports lines to make money. And I understand that sometimes I'm going to win and sometimes I'm going to lose, just like I would if I was investing in a stock. So I don't think Wall Street's out to get me. Do I think it's unfair sometimes? Sure. Life is unfair, but I don't think the fix is in. I don't think anybody's out there trying to fix anything in the NFL. And if you think that, you need to take a real hard look at what's going on in the world. No one's out to get you like that. Last question. Are you surprised that the NBA started this season again without a bubble? It seemed like it worked so well last season. I would think more teams would do it instead of dealing with what the NBA has gone through. All right, so the NBA did go into a bubble for the NFL playoff season. And for the NBA playoff season. And it worked tremendously well. Now, there were several reasons to do that at the time. First of all, the virus was new. We didn't have a lot of information. So the best thing to do for everybody for at least a moment was to lock yourself away from it. And in order to keep people safe from spreading the virus amongst other NBA players, the NBA made a choice, I think wisely, to lock everybody into some hotels in Disney and let them play the games. As you were eliminated, you went home, but as long as you continued to play, you were locked up in your hotel room in Walt Disney. So I think that really worked for people. And obviously, throughout the entire NBA playoffs, no one got sick. No one got COVID. So it worked out really well. But that's not a way to maintain a lifestyle. The NFL players wanted no part of that. And for the most part, the NFL has done a very good job of keeping people safe and healthy. And for such a deadly disease, the people that have gotten sick in the NFL, I have not read or heard about anybody who's been sick enough that this is something that has either affected their life or, as far as, death or affected them going forward. I haven't heard about players who are saying, oh, I got COVID 3 months ago and I'm still having trouble breathing. Now I have some friends who are having some issues, but they're not world-class athletes and they're not young people. My friends are in their 40s and these are the people that I've seen that are getting sick. I have one of the people that works with us. His parents just got sick. They seem to be bouncing back from it. We are finding therapeutics that help. I'm obviously not a doctor, but the things I've read are that we are making some headway in this. So with the vaccines, with the therapeutics at large, with the fact that these are young and healthy athletes for the most part, I don't see a reason to lock people down and put people in a bubble. I don't see a reason for it. And I don't think anybody else sees a reason for it at this point either. Even Dr. Fauci, who is a respected person in the medical field, he's been wrong sometimes, but for the most part is pretty much on point, has said that there's no reason to lock people away anymore. So, no, I don't see it going that way in the future. I don't think that the NBA was wrong in doing what they did, but I don't think it's needed as we move forward. I think things will be just fine the way they are. And hopefully as people start to get vaccinated and we start to see some changes in the weather, as it starts to get warmer towards January, February, and March, this virus will start to take a turn. It will go away, and we won't have to talk about bubbles for the NBA, and especially not the Major League Baseball moving forward. Now, I've been promising you guys this whole show that there's an opportunity for you guys to win $10,000. I've been saying it throughout the whole show. Stick around to the end. I'll give you a chance to win $10,000. Well, we're going to do this in a way that actually makes it fun for everybody because we're going to play a little game. We're going to play a little game, and at the end of the game, I'm going to ask everybody a question. And if you can guess the right answer to the question, underneath your answer, we're going to leave you the information where you can go and have a chance to win $10,000. Now, what I want you guys to do is I want you to welcome back to the show the Charm City Cash Cow, Mr. Michael Shussler, and Mr. Excitement himself, Lance Fernadez. There he is. I like when I say Mr. Excitement and you pop on and your face is like stone cold. Guys, we're playing a little game that I believe Michael put together for us. Michael, what is the game today?
So the game today, John, is a Christmas fantasy football edition of True or False.
Oh, this is Christmas.
Because I understand that my questions or my games recently have been a little difficult. So especially for you. So I decided I'll make it easy. You know?
Oh, wait a minute.
True or false? True or false? Okay, that's easy, right? When a teacher
that was a douchey thing to say, by the way. Douchey.
Hey, when the teacher brings out a quiz and they say, all right, it's 10 questions, they're true or false, and everyone's like, oh yes, I have 50-50 shot at answering this. You guys, 50-50 shot. Everyone out there who's watching, feel free to comment if it's true or false. Let me know which question you're talking about, though. Okay. You guys ready to play? Lance, you ready?
All right. True or false?
Ready to
How many questions do we have?
We have 12 true or false questions.
12 true or false questions. All right. I think I'm going to get, before we go any further, Lance, I think I'm going to get 8 out of 10 right. 8 out of 12 right. How many do you think you're going to get right?
Okay, I'll be conservative. I guess I'll get 6.
That's
Okay.
a pussy thing to say.
Okay.
All right.
I like those odds. Let's see if I can trick you guys here. All right. No, it's no tricks. All right, here we go. True or false? Miles Sanders, running back for the Philadelphia Eagles, saw 100% of Philly's running back touches in week 15. Is that true or false?
100% of the running back touches.
Yep.
I think it's true.
I would have to say it's true.
That is true. That is true.
Boom.
All right, that's one.
That's a nice
Don't
start.
get too excited.
That's one for me.
Okay. Number 2. Calvin Ridley has seen double-digit targets and amassed over 105 receiving yards in each of his last 3 games. True or false?
Repeat it again. Calvin Ridley,
double-digit targets, over 105 receiving yards in 3 straight games. True or false?
Lance, I'll go first. I say false.
I would have to stick with true.
And from the chat, we got Zach saying true.
It is true. Calvin Ridley, top performing wide receiver in the last 3 weeks. Sorry, Jack Sparrow, but that
Jack
is
Sparrow was with me with the false. Damn it!
all right. So
I'm 1-1, and Lance is 2-0.
Got it. Okay. Number 3, Dalvin Cook averages the most fantasy points per game that he's played at the running back position. True or false?
I feel like you phrased this in a tricky way. Dalvin Cook has averaged the most
on a per game
points.
basis. On a per game basis that every running back has played, Dalvin Cook averages the most fantasy points per game. True or false?
Lance, you go first this time, but I already know the answer. Good.
I guess I would have to go false. It's not.
I'm going to say that's true. And then from the chat room, no one's answered so far. I'm going to say true. You're going to say false. Go ahead.
The answer is false.
What?
Oh, man.
Do you guys want to guess who is the top? No, you're wrong, Jack Sparrow. It is false. So, Lance, you're 3 for 3, bud.
Oh, man.
Sorry, John. But do you guys want to take
Lance
a guess
about to
on
get fired.
who averages the most fantasy points per game at the running back position?
Well, it's Derrick Henry.
That is not true.
That's not
would
true.
have to say
Think about it. Per game basis.
per game.
Per game.
No.
Derrick Henry is not correct. I see Zach posted that there too. This is my guy, the fantasy darling. I got 5 nicknames for him.
Oh, McCaffrey?
Yep.
Oh, but he's
Christian
played like
McCaffrey.
2 games.
He's played 3 games, and he has over 30 fantasy points in each game. And he has 2 touchdowns in each game that he's played. He's got 6 touchdowns in just 3 games. He is the best fantasy player.
I knew
ever.
the way you said it. It was a trick question. I knew it.
That wasn't a trick. All
Yeah,
right.
the phrase per game did the trick, though.
Okay. Number 4. Salvon Ahmed, the running back for the Miami Dolphins, He had 100 yards rushing last week. That 100-yard rushing performance is only the second for the Dolphins in the last 31 games. True or false? Salvon Ahmed's 100-yard rushing performance is only
from the chat room. Someone just said that was a bullshit question. Just so we're totally clear.
That's because he didn't know it.
All right, ask me the question again.
Okay, Salvon Ahmed. His 100-yard rushing performance last week is only the second 100-yard rushing performance from a Miami Dolphins running back in the last 31 games.
Wow. Second in 31 games. I'm going to say false.
Lance?
I would have to go with true. Yeah, I haven't heard any Miami Dolphin running back getting 100 yards in like forever.
Jack Sparrow's chiming in with false. Jack's been wrong every time, so I know I'm screwed.
Actually, John, you're right. That was false. That was false.
Jack got it wrong that time.
It wasn't the second 100-yard rushing performance in the last 31 games. It was the first that the Dolphins have had in the last 31 games. The first 100-yard rusher that they've had.
Champion, a win's a win, even if I was thinking something else.
Not yet.
Oh, that's been that long for Miami.
It's been long. Yeah. All right, number 5. We're rolling here. All but one of Adam Thielen's 13 receiving touchdowns have been inside the red zone. So all but one of his 13 receiving touchdowns have been inside the red zone. True or false?
I'll go first. That one's false.
I would have to go false. Yeah.
Take it to the bank. It's false. It is false, right?
No, that is true.
What?
Oh.
He has just one reception for more than 20 yards for a touchdown. All of the other 12 of his 13 have come inside the red zone. So,
Lance, are you keeping score? Am I winning?
I guess we're even. You're 3-2. I'm 3-2.
Okay, I accept that.
3-2.
I accept being even because now I'm coming up to take the lead.
That's right. We're halfway there.
Let's do it.
Here we go. Thielen does lead the league in red zone targets and red zone touchdowns. So there you go. Okay. Number 6. True or false? There's only one player in the NFL with over 100 catches so far this season.
There's only one player in the NFL with over 100 catches so far this season. Siri, who has more than 100 catches? Oh, I'm sorry. Is this thing on? I'm going to say that is – I don't like that I have to go first all the time. I'm going to say that is true. It's DeAndre Hopkins.
Lance?
I would go false for this one.
It is false. It is false. There are three wide receivers with over 100 catches so far this year. All right, so that brings me to number 7, which is kind of related. Of those 3 wide receivers,
hang on, someone just said Diggs. Is Diggs one?
Diggs does. Yes, Diggs is one. Diggs is one. Now, of those 3 wide receivers who have there's only 3 who have over 100 catches. All 3 of them have at least 1,000 receiving yards. True or false?
I would have to say false.
Like,
some of them.
I would say it's got to be true.
Maybe one of them is like 900 plus.
I'm going to say it's true.
So I would go false.
I'll go true.
So John's saying true. Lance, you are saying false. That answer is false.
What?
Yeah, Keenan Allen has 992 receiving yards, but 100 receptions.
Come on.
But you were right. DeAndre Hopkins is the other one, but he has 1,300 receiving yards, and Stephon Diggs has 111 catches. He leads the league, and he has 1,314 receiving yards.
Okay, listen, I'm not sure who's in charge of this whole thing, but I would like to play the rest of this under some type of protest or perhaps something. I'm not sure what to call it, but this whole thing's been unfair. I feel like Lance has all the answers.
Come on, it's just 50%. So either it's true or false. So you just go with your gut.
What I'm saying. Yeah, just go with your gut. All right. We're more than halfway there.
I deal with analytics and real stuff. This is all like flip a coin
Oh, okay.
or false stuff.
All right, fine. How about this? Let's see if you can finish strong then, John.
Oh,
Number 8. Josh Allen was last week's highest scoring fantasy player. Josh Allen, week 15, highest scoring fantasy player. Josh Allen did knock me out of the fantasy finals because of his monster performance. Unfortunate for me. Was he the highest scoring fantasy player of week 15?
the highest score. No. I'm going to say no, he was not. No, he was not. That's a false.
Lance?
I would go false as well.
It is false, and it is Jalen Hurts. Zach is correct.
Wow, Zach got that one right.
Josh Allen was second. Jalen Hurts had like half a fantasy point better than Jalen Hurts or than Josh Allen.
Steve Logsdon just said Lance is the man.
Hey, we all know that.
Lance, Lance, you got your first fan.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Steve. Maybe I have a crystal ball here, See?
All right. This one.
Yeah, see, I thought it was Tannehill. Zach just said Tannehill.
Tannehill had a great performance, but not
great
day as Allen and Hurts. This one's easy, okay? This is more of me just, well, you'll see. Number 9. Despite playing in just 3 games this year, Dip and Dot, Run CMC, C-Mac, Christian McCaffrey has more fantasy points than Zach Moss, Phillip Lindsay, Benny Snell, and Carlos Hyde. True or false?
You mean combined or each
No,
individual?
not combined. Just total. All of those guys have played in at least 10 games. McCaffrey has played in 3.
I'm going to say, I'm so terrible at this game today. I'm going to say true, though. True.
Yeah, haven't heard much from Hyde and Snell for the past few weeks, so I would have to say true as well.
It is true. Good job.
Boom!
That's just me gushing about Christian McCaffrey. Of course.
Everyone got that one. Jack Sparrow got that one. Zach from the chat got that one. Nice.
All right, so this next 3, these are the last 3, and they all have to deal with the same people. Okay, so let's see how you do with these last 3. They all deal with the Cleveland Browns running backs. Number 10, Kareem Hunt has more rushing yards than Nick Chubb. True or false?
More rushing
Yeah,
yards?
it's true. Yeah, I guess, it's true.
Kareem Hunt has more rushing yards than Nick Chubb. True or false?
That's true.
It's number 10 for everyone in the chat.
Number 10. I'm going to say number 10 is true. I'm going to say because Chubb was hurt and because they've been splitting carries without ever looking at the numbers, I'm going to say based on those 2 things that it's true, and no one in the chat room has answered. So go ahead. True or false?
It's false. You're both wrong.
What?
Kareem Hunt has 793 rushing yards. Nick Chubb has 931 because he's an absolute beast. He's played in like 3 less games than Kareem Hunt. So
Jack Sparrow got that one right.
Okay. All right.
Oh, no, it's false. I'm sorry. Jack got it wrong. Zach got it right. I don't think Jack's got one right yet.
He's been drinking that rum too much, I guess.
Yeah, he's a wasted pirate. He's like, false.
Getting drunk in the boat.
That's just called a pirate.
Maybe.
I meant to say false. I kept writing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
All right.
Not in the right mind.
Sticking with that theme. Number 11. Kareem
By the way,
Hunt
that was my Sylvester Stallone impersonation.
Oh, yeah.
Argy, matey.
That's better. Kareem Hunt has more fantasy points than Nick Chubb. True or
That's
false?
true. That's true.
Lance?
Yeah, I guess he has more catching touchdowns, so I guess that's true.
That is true. Good job.
Jack Sparrow says the game is rigged. I take my money back. I'm not sure what money he put in. I'm with him about the rig thing.
Jack, you have to answer one question right to even enter into the $10,000 contest. You haven't even gotten there.
Yeah, I think it's important to at least try to answer one question right before you can get a chance. $10,000.
Yeah, we got to give one to Jack Sparrow before we end this.
All right, well, maybe he'll get this last one because we have covered that Kareem Hunt does not have more rushing yards than Nick Chubb, but he does have more fantasy points.
It's time for our very final question. Hang away. Lance, what's the score between us?
Okay, so John, you have 6. I got 8.
Wow.
So I got no chance here. Okay. All right, let's go. Last one.
You both are
bragging
doing better
rights,
than me. All right. You both can get more than half here if you get this right. Kareem Hunt has more total touchdowns than Nick Chubb. True or false?
Oof. Kareem Hunt has more total touchdowns
Than Nick
than
Chubb.
Nick Chubb. Jack says, I can win this. I'll just copy Zach's answer. And Zach says, Jack got number 4 right. Chill on him. Okay. I understand.
Oh, sorry, Jack.
I got one
He's
right.
like, give it to me, Zach.
me
I'm
that.
going to say that Kareem Hunt does have more touchdowns than Nick Chubb because he's caught so many receiving touchdowns as well.
Lance?
I would have to go with true as well.
It is false. They both have 10.
Oh,
wow.
Yep. Nick Chubb has 10 rushing, and Kareem Hunt has 5 rushing, 5 receiving.
so they're tied.
They're tied with 10. Yep.
Oh, I feel like this whole thing's been rigged. I feel like it's the way you're saying the questions.
Hey, it's true or
I
false.
have a problem with the way you're speaking.
That is
I don't
a
like it.
classic student tactic. It's like, I'm smart. I'm just not good at taking tests. Yeah. Okay.
Oh my God.
Must be in the tone by the way he speaks, so that could be a clue.
Oh, it was terrible. It was just the whole thing was just so offensive.
You guys
I
at
can't
least
even deal
got
with
half
it.
right. You got at least half.
Okay.
Right. It was better than normal.
All right, guys, listen, this has been a great show. For those of you that watch us live, we appreciate it. We do stream the show live to you every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, 10:30 a.m. The What's on Sports shows Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and the Fantasy Fallout is Tuesdays and Thursdays. If you want a chance to win $10,000, I'll tell you something really cool. My birthday's coming up this week. Before the end of the year, it's my birthday. If you can guess my birthday, under your comment, we'll give you a chance to win $10,000. You only get one guess though. You have to name the date of my birthday in the comments below. If you can guess it, it's totally random. If you can guess it, you'll have a chance to win $10,000 US. My name is John Todora. With me today, Michael Shussler, Lance Fernadez. It's been our pleasure. I'd like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, by the way. Safe and happy holidays. Guys, you want to say anything nice to the people?
Go ahead, Lance.
Always keep safe. Yeah, always keep safe and social distancing while celebrating the holidays.
There you go.
That's
Michael?
right. Yeah, just, Merry Christmas to everyone, or Happy Holidays, whatever you celebrate. Winter solstice, just do it with the people you love, your family. I mean, that's what it's all about. And for people answering John's question, he said it's before the end of the year, so that's only 8 days. That's only 8 dates, okay, people? Can't be that hard.
It's really not that hard. We're out of here. Thanks for listening.
That's the song.